So I would just calmly deconstruct them to the best of my knowledge till eventually I could see all that way down. They also sent a prostitute to my farm to try and slightly poison me. And so what they're hoping to do there is delude themselves that they're corralling you, annexing you on your farm. It's really relatively simple to physically walk into an estate agent's and just sell your farm, blah, blah, blah. However, I was using them to see if I could help you, right? Because I still hadn't finished studying that lower form of shite. Right? So, the point being, throughout it, somebody was saying that they magically loved their fantasy of me, but in the next breath, what can I say or do with my spastic brain I need to be executed for? Basically, that's their every waking thought for sexual pleasure. What can I say or do? So, because my original offer to them, that was one seat at the table each to come correct, tell me what the fuck they want, but they spurned it each time by not coming correct, and so that was that. However, they became more and more manic because their shit is fucking garbage. They haven't developed beyond 3 and they've got fuck all self-awareness, completely morally vacant, bug-brained, stupid sacks of shit. You can easily manipulate them. So the crimes. I was actually studying a range of other things simultaneously across the board, and that's all they reduce you to, using them. And but they're getting more and more manic because the meaning to their life is winning that supply of dopamine from the Cauliflower Hotel, right? So, the losers, man, we're the haves, they're the have-nots. They want to genocide everyone because they're inbred to a fucking standstill. They're an evolutionary cul-de-sac. And what have you got? Ray Kurzweil, Ashkenazi fucking Joof, right? Saying, we'll merge with machines, right? So that's how he's going to continue with what's led to him being born with 60 fucking genetic disorders and developing another 9 to 12 during the course of his fucking life. He's a fucking imbecile. Look at him. He's a fucking retard. Like something you'd find in The Wizard of Oz, right? He has shit for his brains. You might not know, Albert Einstein had shit for his brains. A brain the size of my hand. Look up Olinto de Preto and realise how big the lies these cunts tell. Think about the holocaust, how long these lies go on for. Steven Spielberg, yeah? Fucking in Hollyoaks, perpetuating their fucking bullshit. Yeah? And at the end of it all, the traitors are fucking murdered for sexual pleasure by the people they get to murder them to then destroy their country. It's just the same pieces of shit who are all in it together, who then betray that wave and get a new wave in for that country and betray that wave now. It's the end game. Yeah? It's the end now. Because if you're born a trillionaire, you get 60 fucking mental disorders and you're a fucking dwarf with a fucking bug's brain. Yeah? You can print out all the trillions you want. You're still going to be envious of Elvis and Marilyn Monroe. And these men who are seriously good looking. I'm one of them. On a good night. So anyway, point being, so what they did was, I was renting out a house in Scotland needlessly. I was only making 40 quid a month off it. And I was studying a wee prick and another bunch of pricks. And I don't let on for a long time, and I don't dismiss anything. And they dismissed both halves of the fucking brain and the front of the brain and any possibility of depth. They're very, very clever. So, I thought to myself, maybe the first person that went into the flat would be a fuck up. And there's one wee piece of crap I'll be exposing in another video, who is a mason. And a lot of these people call themselves masons, and they're part of a network who conspire to commit crimes against people. They're sadomasochism addicted. And as I said, in that valley, when our ancestors are carving in stone, these wee creepy crawlies are conspiring against other people and then drawing together, you know, like pulling on a string on a drawstring bag and pretending, oh, they're innocent, which is why Masonic judges are everywhere, and they tend to rule in favour of any Mason if he gives that hand sign or that hand sign. So you might want to give that in kangaroo court. Point being, but they'll look up on the internet that they have a satanic network. You couldn't make this up. They all log in and out of each other's slithy, fucking slithering low-life serpents. That they and then they'll read up on you. And if you're not part of that network, which you can fucking easily join, and I've been asked to join for 13 fucking years, you'll never find me in a shit pit with a bunch of fucking cocksucking retards. Yeah? So, right? Now, so the thing that I expected was, I thought they would put somebody in my house, and then I would have them on that. But I would just have studied it. It wouldn't have meant anything to me, because I could have been earning 200 a month from an income instead of £40 a month, and they were so stupid they couldn't work that out. So why choose a fifth of what you can have? Why not go for that plus the 10 grand? Because money means fuck all to me. Right? I'm rewarded in profound ways all the time, due to a moral law beyond the comprehension of Mong. So here's the thing, right? Eventually they did put a paedophile in, right? These sub-Neanderthal pieces of crap. And one of them saying, I love you, boing. And so, I love you, boing. Or whatever they say. They hope to delude themselves. They can hide, trying to trigger their ventral tegmental reward centre in plain view. And they lie for such a long period of time, they think it's going to be too hard for you to work out. And also they use so many other people from this network. If you think about it, you've got a network of fucking millions of people. You'll have somebody sitting across the road from you, you know, and give them a couple of coins and off they jolly well toddle, right? As I said in the last video, you're paying these people's sickness benefits, believe it or not. And your government, your needless government, are paying them to do this, right? And they're implanting people with chips and then triggering them, right? And torturing them. Check out gang stalking, EMP chip implant, right? This is what's happening. It's the degeneration till there's nothing left, right? So, I was studying that, not expecting to find out this fucking network live, which I've got on record. However, what's the point of taking a record when that shit are so fucking brrr, and the average person sitting eating a potato watching the flashing box between them and the wall, yeah? And children are being fucking holocausted. Yeah. So, they eventually put a nonce into my house in Scotland, right? Or as I call it, denial talks, because most of the people there are fucking backwards, right? The point is, I didn't know why are they paying. Why is the prick paying? He paid for quite some time. And so I thought, maybe I'm wrong, you know, I don't dismiss anything. And in the end, they got him to stop paying with mindless predictability. And I think he didn't pay for about 6 months. And so the estate agents, as I thought they were in on it. So they're Masons. Unsurprisingly, their company's called Empire, they're at Wishaw. And Gary, who's their debt collector, this nonce said he was his best friend. So your best friend's a debt collector and he can't get money out of you for 6 months. Right? Now it's all being controlled by the Daniel, who calls himself a high priest, right? As part of that network, right? Committing these crimes against the exact same people for 4.5 years, these desperate losers, right? Desperate to declare themselves winner in their meaningless, hollow numbskulls, right? Now, all I'm doing is studying to see if I can help. So all I did was offer to help them originally as well, right? But they lose the plot. They are what you would call paranoid schizophrenic, so they're hallucinating bird brains, but they're bug-sized, right? So, eventually that, and I think, so why are they stopping the guy now? Why not sooner? So I had to see, when I say money means fuck all to me, you know, and what happened then was I went on FaceCrook and did a study that I've exposed on that website too, the only one that tells you the whole truth. And live, they contacted me through each other's fucking profiles. It was really quite impressive almost, you know, like, so like Marie McCallum and her son, who said I'm Thomas Bradley, and Try Ginger Kiss Girls contacted me, to my knowledge, and did it through all these other fucking people's profiles. I just added 1,300 people at random, and 130 of them were them. Right? So at least 150, I would say. So roughly about 15%, right, of people on FaceCrook call themselves Satan worshippers, which is bullshit. They're just being used by the Ashkenazi, and they weave in and out of each other's profiles and can then pretend and then come at you from all these different angles, as it were. So, Thomas Bradley said that I was now a targeted individual, that he'd put me on a list with these pricks, right? And that he wanted to have my heart transplanted into himself, and that his mother wanted to eat my heart. They're cannibals, right? So they go to the black masses, the person's kidnapped, and then stressed, as I mentioned, and then they're cut open using clamps, yeah? And then their heart's taken out, and they all celebrate being perverts, right? So they get off on it, right? And this is what our ancestors were carving in stone about these fucking degenerates, self-confessed degenerates. Wait till you hear. And point being, so they're coming at it from that angle. Then what happened was, it appeared as though they were asking for the umpteenth time if they could come and live on my farm, right? So run down your finances in Scotland, right, with mindless predictability, and then offer on record to give you a bit of money if you let them come to live with you, right? But I don't know who was behind that. Was it the female and the male, or just two males, or one male? Who? Why? You know? And a paedophile cannibal, aye, fucking move in, you know? I'll fucking put your tea on for you. So, right? And so I think that was the thinking. But however, of course, they'll not admit to that because they were foiled live on record in doing that. And it's on Face Crooks records as well. Because you keep all your shit forever. Well, forever. It's the end game. So, point being, right? They were rumbled live. I tried my best to see if I could help, but her sleazy Thomas Bradley character, who she said was her son, well, these fucking terrible difficulties sitting in a wheelchair, Les, right? Right? He's in Common Core, which is an imaginary Satan worship group of shit who make up 15% of every single website and try and control a narrative, which requires you to care about them. Choose to have this negative emotional reaction, so these worthless little pricks who are unitards can go and believe they're being cruel and preying on someone who's got a bug sprain. When they have a fucking bug sprain, they're all looking for a 3-year-old vulnerable girl. They are the 3-year-old vulnerable girl. They're looking for your Achilles heel. They have an Achilles body, an Achilles brain, and an Achilles soul. They lost their soul. They're degenerates. And the determination to just get worse leads to them no longer existing. They can't produce anything other than fucking blobs in wheelchairs. Yeah? So, they want to genocide you then. Because if they're going to lose the game only they're in, obsessed with winning in their meaningless fuckhole, well, everybody must die. So, that's what they're working on. They don't fucking care. They're nihilists, right? They're nihilist losers. Spielberg, I'll fucking fry you. I'll Holocaust you, you fuck. So anyway, he's anti-Semitic. So anyway, the point is, you have a gay mafia, right, in there, like fuck, right, rooting all the time to make up pish so they can criminalise you, right? You've got feminazis who are bug-brained bitches, bird-brained bitches who are responsible for kinky hairdos and fucking turbans, bandages, all the way through to the freezing cold islands where they squawk like fuck still to this day. They're garbage, they're vermin. Leave, go to Africa, follow me, yeah? To a continent. Yeah, and let's be the bridge that these Portuguese and Dutch and fucking Eurotrash wankers, evil scumbags, were responsible for fucking decimating. Let's reunite these people with their true self-worth, yeah, and help them rise to what they once were and get the fuck off the planet and the fuck away from each other. So anyway, the point is, it's easy done. So as well as doing those things, what they also have done, as you've heard, all that list of crimes against one person who's never committed a crime against anyone, let alone them. And all I've done is profile them live, and they've become more and more manic because they chose not to come correct repeatedly, and they're petty and puerile and horrendously repulsive pieces of shit, you really. And I must get the last word. You couldn't make up, but the last word is fair. They don't live in a continuum, so if you say anything in response, it's the start of a new argument. So, but an argument only therein where it's, what can I share do with my spastic brain? I need to be killed for. They are retards, right? Because they repeat the exact same thought, but the true definition is unitard. It's the same thought, right? Try to trigger your fight or flight mechanism, right? Think about that, how fucking stupid you would have to be for half a decade to contact the same person to see if you can cause them to trigger their fight or flight mechanism. Or, when it doesn't work, they then seek what they call power. And that's where Ashkenazi come in, sucking your shit into their needless perches so they can then wield their Tommy Tippy hammer. So, that's why they've then, from their failure to try and cause me PTSD, failure to harness me for cash, they then put a paedophile in my house I'm renting out as a social experiment. could have collapsed it a long time ago. The point is, as St. Old Les advised me to do, and take extra cash, however, I learned more the way I went. And that selflessness, that donation, always yields the most reward, yet that path of most resistance, it's not for selfish end, it's always for others. And so, I want to go to Africa very, very shortly. I could have went last year, however. We'll get to the crux, right? So, on top of that, they then, I decided to put the farm I've got in Portugal up for sale again. And I let them see what I was doing live, and carved in stone, you'll not be surprised to hear, I carved in stone what they were going to do. So they did it. And unsurprisingly, you'll not be surprised at this, the estate agent turned out to be a psychopath. What a surprise! And so basically, he was then doing their bidding right from the get-go. What can I say I do with my spastic brain I need shots in my face for? I must get a negative reaction. He's as thick as shit, right? As I've said, that gulf, these lying dunces who are executed, 1.2 billion Africans execute paraphiliacs, you're groomed to call them gay, right? Russians, 200 plus million Russians have their own Facebook where they celebrate punching fuck out of so-called gays. You don't know that? In Islam, they're executed, thrown off buildings in broad daylight. Yet, X amount of these countries are run by Ashkenazi. So, in 10% of countries that run this 15% scumbaggery, the majority of whom are self-confessed, self-declared, so-called homosexuals, paraphiliacs, sex offenders, no meaning to their life. It's a meaning to their life, just ventral tegmental reward centre, that's it, right? What can I say or do with my spastic brain and shots in my face for who conspire against you and say, conspire here, right? That's supposed to con you of knowing they're conspiring against you. They're part of a massive fucking network. I have damning evidence against them all to prove. However, I wanted to expose a bigger picture, not these wee individual little fucking trolls. So, and who have proved to be useful, because whenever they're trying to give something, they always try and stab at the exact same time, you know, cloak and dagger, but I was only interested in the cloak too. And so, but anyway, eyes on the cloak. I need to hurry up and finish off here. So here's the point, right? Then, so you have these wee sex offenders battling their crap, and then you get more death threats from these people saying, through the estate agent. So the estate agent lets you know he's working for them. Unsurprisingly, it's all part of a pan-European network, right? And he's this fucking guru for these pieces of shit, right? And he fucking hates them. They slack them off behind their backs. They get them to admit they're greedy criminals. Think about having to admit you're a greedy criminal for a few fucking coins. Yeah. Yehuda. So, they delude themselves they're teaching you, you know, when it's just a fucking rejected script from fucking Seven with Brad Pitt. It's just shit, you know. It's shit that you dismiss at 4.5 and then think about it again when you're 7 and just dismiss it and never think about it again because it's shit. It's already carved in fucking stone. Good, bad, you know, that's it. You know, you're in denial. You got what you deserved. I'll come to it. So, the estate agent, if you want to call him that, starts passing on messages. He shows me the picture of the top of Daniel's skull with his scalp missing, which I'm supposed to feel sympathy for. He says, we can sell your farm, but you can still stay here for 6 years. We sell your farm, but you can still stay in it for 6 years. Right? And they sent paedophile after paedophile after paedophile to the farm. So it was the third group of paedophiles. I just fucking dinged them and fucked off. And I only spoke to one of them just in case the estate agent wasn't in it, which I thought he was from the very start. And recently they sent another self-confessed homosexual paraphiliac to the farm to carry out acting out being Hannibal Lecter. You couldn't make it up. And he'd shaved his head for them. So this might sound far-fetched to you. However, I'm just cataloguing events and reflecting them. The point being, so on the 28th of this month, they've said they want to buy the farm. So this is Daniel either finding someone he's found who wants to buy the farm, in which case there's nothing you can take against them, or they'll pull out, in which case there's a £3,000 deposit I've been sent proof of that I've given to my advogado, right? And they would have to pay that then, you know, if they're going to pull out, which wouldn't surprise me. However, because of the corruption of the people who shoot Frank Serpico through the face or leave him after he's shot through the face bleeding to fucking death and fuck off and say, if I'd known he was Frank Serpico, if he was the good guy, I'd have let him bleed to death. And so What do you expect when I've contacted every single every English-speaking police farce on earth, with the exception of America? What do you expect will happen between now and the 28th? Do you think when I get there, oh, here'll be a big fat fucking check, Erol can go to Africa now? I actually said on Facebook I wanted to stop exposing them because I've got so much from them despite all their fucking evil and panting, you know, and I want to expose the bigger picture, that's all. You know, they're not important, they're fucking millions of them. Why have me crucifying them if they hate it so much? Because they've admitted I've hurt them, I've ambient abused them, I've enraged them fittingly, really put them out, hurt them, made them feel like shit all day whenever they see what I'm publicising about them. However, it's just a subject I'm reflecting on that website, yeah? Yeah, and I'm letting them see me do it live. They had ample opportunity because of their petty determination to declare themselves winner against a man who's never committed a crime against them and trying my best to help them, even on record, on video, you name it. And chose not to have them arrested, chose not to persecute them, blah, blah, blah. Instead, they've committed crimes against me for fucking years. Because I'm supposed at some juncture suffer post-traumatic stress disorder and then commit suicide because they're delaying suicide due to what they've become. They're malignant psychopaths, right? So, during that same conversation with Thomas Bradley, he wrote the word peace. And I have a cat called Peace, and he disappeared for a couple of days, came back again, disappeared for a couple of days, came back again. And he's been away for a week, so for all I know, they've taken him. Because they sent a paedophile from nearby to the farm, hoping to intimidate me, but as usual, I went out, deconstructed them live, reduced them to fucking nothing on the road, and said Thomas Bradley's name, and they bowed their heads, forlorn. However, they still stick to what they've been paid to say and do. So then the paraphiliac, the Dutch paraphiliac who lives nearby, whom they asked to steal some of my chickens, I think. So that's the kind of shite these retarded imbeciles go over. That's how fucking minuscule their bug brain. They have no sense, so their humour is hatred. Senseless hatred. Right? They have no sense, so their every single waking thought is me, 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 me. So, since their humour is hatred, what does that tell you? They have no insight into their unconscious, no insight into you. So how the fuck can they know you, right? So what does it mean then, when they've no sense and hatred makes them laugh? They hate themselves. You hate yourself, and I don't blame you. So, to finish off, I'm supposed to be expecting them to show up and kidnap me and carry me away before the 28th and end up in the scene from Braveheart, which is what the Marie McCallum intimated at the very start. And she said she was trying to save me from that. So, remember, 140,000 people go missing every fucking year and hate Britain alone. So, that's what I've exposed myself to. See if I can help some children. Yeah? And your police farce, on record, not one reply. Yeah? However, Mad Agado's behest, I didn't do the American thing, however I did the British thing, and contacted every other police farce, and the only people to reply was unsurprisingly a Scot, police farce, pig, filthy pig, to go basically, and a female working as part of that mezzanine of filth in, unsurprisingly, a children's charity for abused children, to let me know, I'm also a spastic too, please, which I'm supposed to care about. Personalise and not realise there's millions of them. And instead to enter into an emotional relationship with that specific speck of crap. Right? It's a disgusting, dirty, putrid, low-life cunt. A piece of shit. Who couldn't go on live television, couldn't go on YouTube and tell the truth about herself. Yeah? Could she? I'm a putrid fucking spastic with shite for my brains that needs to be executed, please. Basically. So, if you tell the truth though, in Europe, unlike 90% of the rest of the fucking planet, right, who execute that shite for a fucking reason, because they're grandiosely infantile, self-deluded fucking garbage, who live to be evil, to trigger a rush and buzz. That's it. Everything else is bullshit. And the more perverse, the more they go on, the more self-deluded, the greater that gulf between the people who watch television and the cunts behind it, the more their lies allow them to delude themselves that they are the supreme intelligence. They have shit for their brains. Their matrix is shit, right? They are fucking inbred shit. They are inbred to a standstill due to their determination to be in denial for moral law fittingly beyond their comprehension. Yeah? What fitting punishment? Yeah? What proof? Conclusive? Yeah? All sitting in fucking wheelchairs in the basins of their own shit, and you're paying for these dirty, putrid fucking cunts from every fucking angle. What are they going to do with that extra cash, with access to a fucking satanic network of 15% of your country, of rent a mob, rent a nonce, rent a murderer, rent a fucking kidnapper, rent a fucking paedophile, yeah? Rent a thief, whatever, in the night. What are they going to do, these pieces of shit? I must win the imaginary competition. Only my spastic brain is in. You know what I mean? They are spastics with shite for their brains who have to be shot through the fucking face. Yeah? Even when they're shot through the face, aim for the fucking mouth, because otherwise they get up and repeat the fucking exact same thought. They're unitards. So, am I to expect on the 28th I go to this corrupt little prick and magically there's a cheque for my farm and I fuck off to Africa, right? Well, just a couple of days ago, I think it was Desperate Dan, he sent me a payment of £50. They keep sending me money, right? Probably some satanic influence there in their thought process, fuck them. And it said, here's 50 quid, and it was my page that you need to go on and donate to yourself, you cunt. Sell everything you fucking have and get the fuck out of there. Go to Africa, fucking get out of Dresden, right? So the 50 quid, my own words, save the world, you bastard, is to them, but they can't see from anybody else's point of view, so they're so cut off from reality, they want me to read my own words, because that must get a negative reaction. And so, what Daniel was communicating through the estate agent was that he needs to keep things a secret, and it's himself who uses these paedophiles to send to my farm, to send me messages, and secretly, he would like to speak to me, but he is a malignant psychopath, but more than one of them have alluded to that. As I said, it's always the cloak with the dagger, you know. I don't need any cloaks, you know, I'm good to go. So,